So pretty much as soon as I started opening myself back up to taking questions, I got flooded with a bunch that were like, I don't know if I'm where I'm supposed to be at in my life. Point to someone in your life who is. I don't know anyone who even talks like that. Maybe this is obvious because I'm 41 and making a YouTube video, but I don't give a lot of thought as to whether or not I'm where I'm supposed to be at. Hey, my name is Mike Falzone, and I'm a comedian. I don't give advice. I just kind of talk about stuff until you figure your own shit out. Here's my whole timeline. When I was in high school, I was a little piece of shit, and all I wanted to do was be an artist, more specifically, a musician. I told my parents I want to be a musician, and they were like, that is okay, as long as you could pay your own bills and you go to college. So I'm like, I'll do whatever I have to do to pay my own bills and go to college. So I got jobs at restaurants, and I got like camp counselor jobs, and I try not to flunk out of high school. Eventually, I got to college, and I did that again. I got a job so I can drink on the weekends. I played music at night. I learned photography. I majored in communications and film, so I learned like how to edit video and stuff like that, and I tried not to fail at it. So college ends, and I have a degree, and I was able to get a job as a production assistant in TV. So I was able to afford rent, and I was able to keep being a musician. So now, photographer as a hobby, musician, PA. Being a musician eventually leads me to doing YouTube. I put covers and stuff on the internet, and people start coming to my shows. So I'm able to remain a musician because I have a job to pay for it, and people are coming because I sang Rebecca Black once on the internet. So now people want to hang out. So I'm doing YouTube, and I start to make different kinds of things. I get sick, I get better, and I get a little bit of perspective on life, and I start making more vlog type videos. That leads me into this whole other world I had no idea about, which was people asking me to host stuff. This show called Tweet Tap, Ferocious, SourceFed. Never knew I was going to be a host, but now add host to the list of stuff. While I was at SourceFed, I was like, might as well get real good at this. And I kind of lost my love for music, which I never thought was going to happen. And I direct that towards stand-up since I have more of a point of view now. I have something to say, and I didn't want to rhyme things anymore. So I start doing stand-up instead of music. SourceFed ends, and me and my friend Steve start a podcast. So now I am photographer, stand-up comedian, college graduate, ex-musician, podcaster, YouTuber. Never once thinking about if I'm where I'm supposed to be, because I have no idea what that means. Just continuing to do whatever I have to do to keep doing what I want as an artist. In my pursuit of stand-up, I find that one of my favorite things is talking to the audience. That becomes a crowd work show called Friends and Friends. One day we put it in a circle. That show becomes Surrounded. Surrounded kind of blows up, and I'm able to sell Surrounded as a show through JFL, one of the biggest comedy associations in the world, to Meta, one of the biggest corporations in the world. And no one saw it because it was in VR, but it happened, and now I'm a television producer. Did I ever think that I was going to be that? No, that's not really the point. I never stopped to be like, am I where? Now I have to be a producer. I kept doing stuff. Producer, photographer, YouTuber, podcaster, ex-musician, ex-machina, college graduate, high school graduate. If everything fails tomorrow and I have to go work at a restaurant or pump gas, I will do that to remain a stand-up comedian and to remain a photographer and an artist, to keep doing all these things that I have to do in order to do what I want to do. So I never think about, am I where I'm supposed to be? I just think about, am I happy? I think what makes me happy is being able to fulfill that childhood dream of like, I can be a professional artist and I can make my living in some way, shape, or form as an artist. Am I happy? Do I have balance? Am I taking enough time away from these fucking 8 other jobs that I have to live enough life to have a perspective on it? I can't even envision the timeline or see my place on it. I'm just like, recalibrate and keep going. Whenever I felt stuck, it's like I just started doing something And doing something literally always leads to something else. I've been on YouTube for 20 years. I'm a photographer and videographer at the biggest comedy clubs on the planet. We're about to pass 500 episodes of the Dynamic Banter podcast. I've toured all over the world doing stand-up. I sold that fucking show. I'd love to have one of these houses one day, and then I look on Zillow and I'm like, never, ever, for any reason. But I'm just like, am I happy or no? Am I busy or no? And then you recalibrate and you keep going. Doing stuff always leads to other stuff, even if it's way different than you thought it would be. So you could spend all this fucking time being like, am I where I'm supposed to be? And I can't tell you. I don't know. And chances are you can't tell you because you don't know. And you can't see the future. Just have an idea of what you want and keep your feet moving towards that. And don't be afraid of the little twists and turns in the road, because that's the best. That's fucking life. Okay, that's it. I think that's all I have to say. Let me know if this helped you. And if you have a question for me, you could leave it as a comment. You could DM me on Instagram at Mike Falzone. You could text me at 818-722-8682. And for the love of God, you can come see me on the road doing stand-up. Little boy's dream, for Christ's sake. Anyway, this was fun. We're back. See you next Tuesday. Fucking